Awesome. All right, Aiden. Sorry, I know right when you got that. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, okay, that'll work. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Like I said, I had to get us out for design anyway. So
today's first and only presentation.
Okay, guys. Tyler, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Aiden, go ahead. Now, for Aiden, I had him do something slightly different, so he's going to explain that. And make sure to ask any questions as they come up. And go ahead, Aiden.
All right. So for my presentation, Dr. Clements asked me to find a reasonable reasonable data set on Kaggle. And what I ended up finding was data on Chernobyl. For those of you who don't know, Chernobyl was a gigantic nuclear catastrophe which led to millions of deaths, and not terribly good. So what happened was there was a reactor which overloaded and failed, and the element that was being used was cesium, and being that nuclear and radiation, not too good. So this data set explains the travel through the air of cesium, how fast it went, and the backlash and repercussions of what happened. So yeah, right here, this is just the data set, as well as right here, the file name and the title. Right here, that is. And then right here, Dr. Clements asked me to analyze what each line meant, essentially. So that is stated within the side notes. So this is just the overall format of the graph, which I will show you in a second. So on the sides right here, designates the column of the graph, count the distinct observations of the axis, or the axes, continues with array dimensions, add-ons, locations of integers, value plots, labels, all that stuff, displays. Right down here is the data set from the original document. It had 1,000 rows, but we didn't need that, so I just shortened it down a bit to 5 because there's no reason to. It just be unnecessary. Here's the 5 sets that we got. Across, you get to see not just the dates of when it was taken place, but also the duration of the wavelength, as well as the concentration per cubic meter of cesium 131, 134, and 137. Yeah, so that's just the 5 main ones that I used. Here is the plot column distribution. I decided to use this because it was the most reasonable and easy to convey through my point of the presentation. So throughout, you get to see not just the columns, but the counts and percentages and concentration of each cesium, as well as the duration. Yeah. So, any questions?
Yeah, could you go back down to the data, or the visual? You go to the visual.
Yeah.
All right. So could you explain us what do we see from that data then? What's
the trends?
what's happening?
Yeah. So over time, you can see in the far right, you can see the trend in concentration going down, obviously, as the wavelength and the cloud dissipates. But it's still too strong for human life, as it still is today. 50 years later, almost. It's going to be like that for a long time. I don't know the average rate of decomp of cesium-137, but it's probably not going to be for another few million years. So yeah, the half-life, I don't know, but I can figure that out if you guys want. So yeah, it's obviously a big spike of when it happened, as well as just the dissipation, as well as throughout. So the IP, this is the Hayes as well as the counts. Yeah, so concentration, these three right here, the middle ones are the concentration. And then this is just the overall averages of the far right.
Could you go up to the previous, just like scroll up some?
Here?
No, a little more. There you go. What's that stuff for? What's all that do?
This right here is this part for the graph. It's just, it inserts the graph itself, but right down here, sorry, this inserts the format for the graph, and then this one down here inserts the graph itself. After. So this 5 right here dictates the amount of columns, rows, as well as this dictates the information put inside.
Okay. And then
So the data frame and that.
you said we cut it from 1,000 down to 5.
So yes, the original one has 1,000 rows. Sorry, I'm messing it up. So this one right here says 5. You could make it 1,000, but that would just be a bunch of information. I mean, I can do that and show you guys if you want, and then redo the graph and try to analyze it for you, if you so wish.
No, that's okay. I was just curious about was there a command that did that cut it down?
Like, did it happen automatically when I transferred the data?
No, like just up there somewhere. Was there a command that we used to cut it down?
No, this right here, it actually says 1,000. So it gives you 1,000 originally. And to shorten it down for understanding and easy and whatever, I picked 5. 5 is also recommended in this immediately, but it's a bit more comprehensible and
Any other questions at all? Any questions for me? Awesome. All right, thanks, Ben. Excellent.
thank you.
Very good. So that was on Chernobyl, right?
Yeah. Good. Good.
Okay, so why don't you get ahead? You seem eager.
Leave mine at home.
My dog ate mine.
Nice muscles, Pierce. You are getting pretty big going to the gym right now.
Alex, you got something for us?
No,
Ah,
nothing.
No, sir.
Pierce?
No, sir.
Boo. Jax, do you want to show us some of the stuff you did?
I mean, not really, because it's just like, unless you want to look at that.
Yeah, just come. Let's just have a look. I just want you to show it off some of this stuff because I know what you've been doing, but they don't. Here, yeah, you can plug it into this.
Yeah. Do this one.
Attaboy, Jack.
No,
Saracen Parker. Dude, what do you got there? Chocolate rice cake.
Well, I didn't really do a data visualization. I've been working on my robot for design at this class. It isn't really working, so this is just what the code would probably look like that would run on. I don't know if it actually works or not, but it's really just a lot of working with different angles and doing some trigonometry and stuff to figure out the stuff with the joystick. Like it's complicated. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's very different to Python,
Yourself.
and that's about it.
Can you tell us about can you just explain some of what that does?
Well, I mean, right here is where it's like if then. It's like if it starts at 130 degrees at an angle, then it will do this or this, and then there's a bunch of different ones. Basically, if then statements. So it's all variables depending on one another on how it's set up, essentially. So I don't really know how to explain it much more than that.
What language is this? What?
This is Arduino IDE.
And y'all are pretty smart, dude.
What's the deal with Arduino? Like, just again for everybody else here, like,
I mean, Arduino is different than Python, where Python's more like your general purpose language where you can do like pretty much anything with it. Arduino, really you can only use it to program little mechanisms that do things. Like Arduino is a very basic, it's like a computer that you can use to run motors or whatever, and it's for people who are interested in doing projects like that and they're just starting off in it. So it's simplified to a certain extent, but it still gives you a lot of opportunities to do basically whatever you want with it, as long as you're building something physical. So, it's just a
Yeah.
control board. It's just like it's like the motherboard in a computer. It tells everything what to do. That's basically it.
well, go ahead and also just like fill everybody in on like what, like what happened with, what are some of the obstacles you had with that robot?
The only obstacles I've had really were like the things that supply power to the motors just kept breaking. Like they're really crappy things from China and they just suck. And only one of them works and I need 5. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I can't find any others because they're too expensive.
So you're like building a robot.
I was trying to build a catapult that shoots things at like 100 miles an hour.
Whoa.
That doesn't work out. Anything else, Dr. Close?
Any other questions for Yax? Awesome. All right, thanks, man. I'm sorry. He made a lot of really, really amazing progress on it, but
I gotta update my computer, man.
Yeah. I could build a catapult part, I just can't make it move right now.
yeah, he's not kidding about the stuff not working. Like I was in the lab when it caught fire, like real fire.
It inflames.
Like yeah, like it was the first time I've ever been worried about actually catching the building on fire. We took care of it.
So is this our only opportunity for us to present?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Dang.
What is that?
Well, we are screwed, Pierce.
What?
Tyler, this is our only opportunity for us to present.
What about you, Gant? You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, you do.
Hey, I still remember my public speaking speech. I said.
Let me see here. So Cooper, we're waiting here a little bit. We'll have him do
Good
his.
afternoon. My name is Tyler Davis. That Sochi was about great.
Is in fact this class. Not
Great.
currently,
I've used them in different ways.
Y'all ever tried to?
period of time.
I picked up so many times.
But I was already at McDonald's.
I would go to McDonald's when I picked up the package.
One in Concord before I had